What's up, everybody? My name's Mike. I play guitar in Flip Rushmore, and today we're going to dive a little bit deeper into some sweet tones that we got for the Loathsome Crowded West. Let's check it out. So, to give you a little background on the recording process, we filmed at Signature Tone Studios here in Richfield, Minnesota, and we had a wide variety of amps and effects and everything to choose from when recording this song. And Adam Tucker over at Signature Tone is a master of his craft, and he had this really cool idea for a sound. I was really looking for something that was spanky and that had some great cut to it for my tone. I played rhythm guitar on this song and wanted the initial kick that starts the song to just really bite through and catch your attention. And so he had this kind of souped up Vox AC30 that he had replaced the speakers with V30 speaker cabinets. And so it gave this really beefy, saturated, but still spanky. Still got, and I was playing my Strat here, and it had just the right amount of cut and sound to. It sounded perfect. He even said, I had it on the first pickup position on the bridge pickups, and he's like, I usually hate how that sounds, but it's just sounded perfect coming through this. And so we went with that. And so I'm going to demonstrate here and show you guys what I've got set up. I'm replicating the sound of this with my Line 6 Helix. So I've got the software pulled up, and I'm just going to show you exactly what we have going for this. And so right now, I have the amp set to some pretty standard settings. I really just got the master boosted all the way, wants that amp distortion as much as possible from the power amp. And then I've got the drive set to about 6.5. So it's got some really nice distortion, but doesn't cut a ton. Bass and treble are fairly in the middle. Bass around 3 and treble around 5.5 on this, with the cut setting on the AC30 at about 4. And so what the cut does is it rolls off the high end. So if the cut's at 0, the high end's totally open. If the cut is at 10, it totally gets closed off. And so I've got the cut right around 4 because, anytime you're playing through a Strat, especially on the bridge pickups, you're going to get some really bitey tones out of it. And we wanted to make sure that, and I wanted to make sure in this recreation that was rolled off to match the tone of the actual recording as best as possible. And so pretty standard settings for everything else, nothing too outrageous. And so that is where we ended up for that, and on the amp settings. Now, what I think is actually the most interesting part about this entire tone is the vast difference that you're going to get from the cab. And for people who are just getting started out at guitar and understanding how guitar tone works, I feel like the cabinet is often overlooked in what kind of effect it has on the tone of the song. And so what I've done is I've set up a little bit of an A/B test so that we can get a taste of what it would sound like through a stock AC30 that you pick up off the shelf at your local guitar center versus what we had in the studio with some V30 speaker cabs in that as well. And so I'm actually going to go ahead and demonstrate that right now for you guys. And so right now I've got it set up so that we're routing through this dual cabinet block here on the Helix, and I've got two 2x12 AC30 cabinets running through here right now. One mic'd with 121 ribbon, and the other mic'd with 57 dynamic. These are not the exact mics that we used in the studio. I can't exactly remember what those were. In fact, I'm pretty sure Adam hates using this combo, but I like it when I'm making my own tones, and so we're going to use it in here. And then for comparison, we've got the 2x12 Interstate, which is a Dr. Z simulation of their 2x12 cab, and these have V30 speakers in them. And so that's why I chose these. I've got the exact same mic setup. I actually need to bring this back out. And then we should be good to go from there. Running it through just a touch of room reverb, nothing too crazy. And then we are finishing it off with just a little bit of low and high cut, barely noticeable, but it's on there just for fun and because we can. And because the Helix allows us to do so. And that's why we love it so much, don't we, folks? And so this first one is going to be what it sounds like through just a standard AC30 with, you would pull off the shelf and mic with a 57 and 121. So that sounds pretty good. It's a good sound. I like it, but it's missing a lot of beefiness to it. It's missing some nice saturation that the V30 cabs are going to give us. And so I'm going to switch over to those and you'll immediately be able to hear the difference. And if you are listening to this right after you're listening to the studio recorded version, this is going to sound a lot more familiar to you. Totally apparent what the difference there is, and really glad that Adam had those V30s in the cab for his AC30 because, man, it sounds really good, and I was really pleased with what we were able to do with that tone. The final thing I will show you regarding this song is this cool little effect we have in the Helix called the ObiWan. And so I should have pulled this up before, but I believe the ObiWan is a model of some sort of filter that was used on an early 80s synthesizer. I want to say it was an Oberheim synthesizer that had this sort of crazy modular wah filter baked into it, or there was a separate pedal that they released to the market. And so I was fooling around trying to think of something to fill up some space during the verses, because the verses are very straightforward with the bass guitar driving it and Alex singing away. And so I was just screwing around on this, and I came across this effect, and we ended up using it on the record. So what you're hearing is the ObiWan going straight into the front of the amp. And it's got this really funky and crazy kind of sound that you'll be able to hear right now. Pretty crazy, right? But what we were able to do in the studio was have a couple takes of those, and Adam panned some of them hard left and right, so you're getting all the crazy random modulations from this out of sync with each other, but it makes it sound super big because he's got them panned left and right. And so that's one of my favorite little nuggets of this song, was the fact that we were able to implement this into the recording process. And Adam was able to work his magic and make it sound really unique. And in my opinion, it's a total piece of ear candy for the verse of the song. So that's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed me walking you through the tones that we were able to get for the Loathsome Crowded West. Be sure to stream it on all of your favorite streaming platforms. Be sure to follow us on all your favorite streaming platforms. Be sure to follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook for those of you who still use it or are older than 45. We're on Twitter. Yeah, buy our merch, buy our shirts, and yeah, we'll be seeing you hopefully live sometime soon. Catch you later.